Egg yolks. It will start to cook the eggs. Yeah. So that's why I add it right before I'm going to use it. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of cream at a time here, just constantly keeping it moving. I want to heat up these egg yolks really slowly. I don't want to cause them to pre-coagulate at all. Now, if you feel uncomfortable with such a small container, you can always put it in a bowl if you need to. It gives you a little more room to whisk and allows you to add all the cream to the eggs, little by little, as the recipe tells you to. You should do it little by little until all the cream's incorporated. I won't be able to fit all this cream in this quart container though, so I'll get a lot of it in here. But then what I'll do is slowly whisk these egg yolks into the cream again.
So is it okay if you don't get all the cream in there?
Yeah, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this now and go back this direction. As long as it gets in there slowly, as long as it heats up very slowly, you'll have minimal pre-coagulation and you'll have nice, set, solid crème brûlée in the end. So, crème brûlée is done, basically. All we have to do now is dispense it. About 3/4 full. I would recommend equipment stewards, we're probably going to need some ladles today. I think that'll probably make life easier for everyone.
What are you saying? We have people up here that ain't going to be able to pour?
Yep.
Me being one of them.
Great.
How many ounces is in each one?
These are approximately 5. Approximately.
So you're just filling it up to like the little line there?
Yeah, to the rim.
Annoying.
There's a little smidge left here.
She were more than me.
Alright, so with all of those, this pan's a bit shallow, so I'm going to go ahead and move these over here to a hotel pan, and we're just going to put them in the hotel pan so we can add a water bath. We're going to fill up the water bath about halfway up the ramekin, and we're just looking for water that is, good and warm, probably warm out of the faucet. We'll pour that into our hotel pan to make sure that the water bath protects the crème brûlée. One thing you'll notice I do, and some of you may see this, some of you may not see it, but I'm going to leave a corner free here. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to take this to the oven, then I'm going to take a container full of water, and I'm going to pour it here in this corner. That way when I pour it, I'm not going to splash water up onto the crème brûlée. And when it's in the oven, I'm going to do that, because I don't want to have to carry this full of water and crème brûlée all the way across the kitchen to my nearest oven. You can imagine the kind of disasters that could happen, So, this is much easier to carry this way with just the ramekins in there. That's bad enough as it is. Once you add water to it, it gets to be really treacherous. So I'm going to put these in the oven with some hot water fresh out of the tap. And these are going to go for about 25 minutes or so in the oven.
And is it hot water?
Hot water, yeah. That'll just kind of get things started. Now, how do you know they're done? Well, there's certain ways you can tell they're done. One, you can shake them. You give them a little gentle shake. They should jiggle just a little bit. Usually in the middle, about the size of a quarter or a nickel. A little area there will jiggle a little bit. But they should be almost set, almost completely set. At that point, you know that they're going to carry over cook for a little while. So the hot water that's in here, when you bring them out of the oven, will continue cooking them for just a little while and make them finish setting. They'll be soft. We're not talking about something that's rock hard set here. I'm just going to grab the torch. We're going to be using our torch today for a couple of things. One, the torch is used to help burn our sugar on top, but I'm also going to use it for something else, another little trick the recipe doesn't tell you about. And that's getting rid of your air bubbles. You notice all this foam that's on top? Well, if I just dance this across the top, and I mean just dancing, all the air bubbles will pop. and you'll get nice smooth tops. The way to make this work,
Is that like a fancy schmancy little tip on it, or is it just normal?
it's normal. Yeah, I bought this at Walmart for $19.
Wicked.
Yeah, all you have to do is just unscrew it until you hear it hiss, and then hit the trigger. And then you can adjust your flame accordingly. You know, the one thing about this torch that you'll find is that these will freeze up. When we're doing these on the finished custards, we'll be end up holding it this direction to burn all the sugar on there. Eventually, the propane that's in here comes down here and it's liquid. So what it does is it's trying to evaporate into a gas. It gets very cold, and all the innards inside of here start to freeze solid. When that happens, you won't be able to turn it completely off. So you just want to let it sit there. A little flame will be coming out of it. Just let it sit. Eventually, it's going to defrost and come back to normal again. But that's just one of the things about having propane coming up to the front here. As it's converting, it gets very cold, and you won't notice it because the handle here is pretty well insulated. But you'll notice it in the flame, the quality of the flame. They're pretty easy to use, and you can use any plumber's torch. They also have those little ones you can buy, the cute little ones. They're okay, but the butane canisters are really hard to find. I think you'll find these canisters are much easier to find. These are every hardware store, every Walmart has them, and they're cheap. So that's another good thing about these. So they're bigger.
Walmart carries all the butane now.
Oh, they do? That's great, because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to find than it used to be. It used to be you hunt everywhere for it, you never find it. But I bought one of these because it's so easy. But this is a fancy schmancy one. It has a trigger. You know, some of them don't have that. You have to turn on the gas, use one of those strikers, you know, it goes poof, and it's a plumber's torch. They're really pretty cheap and a worthy tool to have in your toolkit. If it doesn't fit in your toolbox, you can always unscrew it to store it, and you can store it like this, and it works just fine. There's nothing wrong with disconnecting it. It just has a little valve in here and a little pin that opens the valve, and that's only after it's been screwed down. So there's nothing to worry about. Generally, they're very safe.
Don't leave them in a hot car.
Yeah, not in a hot car. Not a good idea. So I'll put these in the oven. I'm going to put, say, a water bath in about an inch deep to make. We're going to be. Let's check with Chef Paul to see if he'd like to use them.
I put a bucket back there.